Hello, fellow plant enthusiasts. So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video on my thoughts on these tripod lights, and I didn't give them a very good review. And I mentioned how it kept leaning and the goosenecks were flimsy. And I wasn't going to return that because I got it for 20 bucks from 50, and even the cheap ones were more than 20 bucks. But I realize it's going to be more of a burden than a blessing at the cost, because it had more than just a messed up gooseneck and not able to support the bulbs. I liked how those bulbs were replaceable, but the fact that it was leaning, and then the electronics, once I have it set, if I want to readjust it, I had to unplug it and replug it in. It just was not worth the hassle. And yesterday I went to leave a review on Amazon, and I put a little video review showing how wobbly it is, how the gooseneck was broken and everything. But the item is now discontinued. They realized they had a bad product. In the meantime, when I decided that I should just return that, I bought this one, and this one was like 30 bucks. These bulbs are not replaceable, but it is so much better. It actually can stand on its own without leaning when I have all the lights on one side. And so far I haven't had any issue with the electronics. And as you can see, it does give ample light. It's actually a little brighter than the other one, although the other one had a pleasant appearance to it. This one I'll have to dim it if I want that appearance versus it being this bright. But anyway, I do like this one, and I thought I could buy a second one to put in the garage for some plants over the winter. But I'm thinking maybe I'll try some clamp lights that clamp onto the tables or something. Some bigger ones than the one I have behind me off to the side. May or may not be visible in frame. That's a small one that, they make some bigger ones I might try. But anyway, just to show off a few of my plants over here, I have this terrarium, and I bought this a few years ago. It was back in 2017. I was down in Simpsonville, South Carolina, in the Hobby Lobby parking lot waiting for the solar eclipse. And I bought this terrarium thing, and it came with right here, with a ball, and I had coated this very lightly in polyurethane, but I do keep this off for now. And I made this into a terrarium recently, and it was neglected, so then I cleaned it and fixed it up. I had the Begonia foliosa in there, and I put a Paulownia in there. And it's nice because the diameter is perfect for this flat thing that I found at Hobby Lobby as well. This was several years ago, and this was more recently. But you can see how the Crown of Thorns is doing well. The snake plant, my coffee plant, it's really happy. And I tried growing coffee a couple times in the past, and they died, and I've had this one for several years now, so third time was a charm. Unfortunately for tea, the third time was not a charm. I'm going to have to try again. There's a really cool camellia nursery it's really around Carborough, but it has a Chapel Hill address, and they're open Saturday mornings, but I'm rarely that way at that time to go and purchase me another tea camellia at the moment, but hopefully one day I'll manage to get over there and purchase one, a Camellia sinensis. So I have an African violet, and I have a few other little knickknacks. Here's a prickly pear that I don't know what kind it is. I'll see if it produces edible fruit or more ornamental when it gets big enough, if it survives. And let's see, I put my Nepenthes here, my Nepenthes ventrata and my Nepenthes St. Gaia. And my wife's getting on to me to cut these dead ones, although I thought, oh, they're cool, so I'll see. Maybe I'll cut them down or something. I don't know if it's going to look too bare when I prune it, but it will be interesting to see. And then here, if you notice, I have my Begonia pavonina seedlings, and I started to acclimate them to slightly drier environments, so they are not in 100% humidity, so I can start potting them because they are getting big. And in the right light condition, even though they're still tiny leaves, I do see some iridescence to them, which is nice. And I have a tub here. I'll be moving this eventually, but I have some leaf cuttings in here that I'm hoping to root for more Begonia pavoninas. And I have a few other plants behind me, including my Aloe castionii. This is one that I like, a cutting from the bigger plant that was actually in that pot and got too big, and then I repotted it and put that in the pot it came with when I bought it on clearance for $1 at Lowe's. And it's funny because that's a rare plant and they go for like $20 to $50 online. So anyway, this is just a quick overview showing you some more of my plants. I did set up this terrarium with a Macgravia scalloped here and a Begonia lichenera or lichenora back here. And I hope, excuse me, I'm recovering. I had a cold the other day. I'm hoping I'll get to propagate this and get some nice iridescence out of it as well. But yeah, if you're going to buy a tripod light, do your research, because some of them are horrendous and others are so much better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Happy planting.